Hi everyone, welcome to a new video by Talent Battle. This one is going to have sample quantitative aptitude questions which are modeled exactly on the lines of Wipro placement paper questions. Okay, so this is going to be immensely beneficial for your preparation. Also, Talent Battle has launched its crash course for Wipro, the Wipro crash course which is there, that is going to help you in a focused preparation for the Wipro NLTS 2021 exam. The link for the crash course is given in the video description. Do check it out. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon, and you can even join our Telegram channel for regular practice questions. So let's start with the sample questions. A 5-digit number divisible by 3 is to be formed using numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 without repetition. The total number of ways this can be done are, now the total numbers given are 6, okay, total 6 digits are given, okay, and I want a 5-digit number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So over here, the main condition is that the 5-digit number has to be divisible by 3. The divisibility test for 3 is that the sum of digits, okay, the sum of digits has to be divisible by 3. That means the remainder has to come to be 0, okay. Then only the entire number is divisible by 3. Now, I want a 5-digit number, okay, and I have 6 digits. That means any 5 digits I have to choose. So I'll write the possible combinations 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 5 digits I take. That means I have omitted 5 over here. Now 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. I have omitted 4 over here. Then 0, 1, 2, 4 and 5. I have omitted 3 over here. 0, 1, 3, 4, 5. Omitted 2 over here. 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. Omitted 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Omitted 0. So these are the only possible combination of digits that can be used to form the 5-digit numbers. Okay. So in this combination, we have to check which combination gives us a number, okay, which is divisible by 3. Like for example, I have to add all the digits, these digits, I'll add them. What I'm going to get, 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 1, 10. 10 is not divisible by 3. Okay. So this combination is not useful for us. Okay. If we form the numbers using this combination, like for example 4, 2, 0, 1, 3. Okay, this is a 5-digit number. If you add all the digits, you are going to get the addition as 10. Okay, which is not divisible by 3. So the entire number is not divisible by 3. So this combination of digits is not useful for us. Let's move on to next one. 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 2, 10, 11. 11 is also not divisible by 3. 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 1, 10, 12. 12 is divisible by 3. So this combination is useful. Next. 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 1, 10, 13. 13 is not divisible by 3. Then 5 plus 5 is 10, 14. 14 is not divisible by 3. 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 plus 5, 15. 15 is divisible by 3. So what we can do is we can either form the numbers using 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, these 5 digits, or we can form the numbers using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So numbers formed using this plus numbers formed using this are divisible by 3. So what we are going to do now is these 5 digits, using these first of all these 5 digits I'll take. Using these 5 digits, how many numbers can be formed? 5 digit, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 digits are there. The first digit can be anything out of the 5. 1 digit used over here, so 4 digits remain. So the second digit can be any of the 4 digits that are remaining. Again 1 digit used over here, 3 digits remain, so 3 options over here. Again 1 digit used, 2 options over here, then the last digit comes over here. So total numbers that can be formed are nothing but 5 factorial. That comes out to be 120 numbers. Okay. So 120 numbers over here. Fine. Next. For these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The first digit can be 1, 2, 4 or 5. Only 4 options. Why? 0 cannot be the first digit. Otherwise it is going to be a 4-digit number. Okay. So 4 over here. Now out of the 5, 1 digit is used. So how many remain? 4 remain. Again 1 digit is used. So only 3 remain. 3 options over here. Again 1 digit used. Only 2 digits remain. Only 2 options over here. Any of the 2 can come at this place. And 1 is used. Only last one comes over here. So when you multiply this, what you get is 3 2s are 6, 6 4s are 24, 24 4s are 96. So these are 96 numbers. So total numbers that are divisible by 3 and those are 5 digit. Okay. It comes out to be 96 plus 120, that comes out to be 216. Okay, 216 numbers, such numbers are there. Answer is option A. From a bag containing 8 green and 5 red balls, 3 are drawn one after the other. Find the probability of all three balls being green if the balls drawn are replaced before the next ball is picked. The balls drawn are not replaced. Now let's check out the first probability. Now what is if there is a bag and the bag has 8 green and 5 red balls, okay? And 3 balls are drawn one after the another. Find the probability that all the 3 balls are green. I draw the first ball and then I draw out the second ball and then I draw out the third ball, okay? In the first case, I am checking out balls drawn are replaced before the next ball is picked. Drawing out the first green ball, okay? First ball I want. What is the formula for probability? Probability is what I want, okay? What I want divided by total possibilities, whatever are possible, okay? Now, what I am doing over here, I am drawing out one ball. In how many ways I can draw that one ball? Total balls are how much? 8 plus 5, 13 balls. So, out of 13 balls, I can draw any one ball, no? So, divide by 13. But what I want a green ball, okay? Because I want all 3 balls to be green. So, I want the first ball to be green. How many green balls are there? 8 green balls are there. So, I have 8 options. I can choose any one out of the 8 green balls. So, it comes over here. And means multiplication. Now, what happens is, after I draw the ball, it is replaced again. That means I put back the ball in the bag. Now, again, I am drawing out the second ball, okay? Now, this second ball, while drawing out the second ball, how many total balls are there? 13. Now, remember, it is not 12 balls, it is 13 because after drawing out a green ball, I have put the ball back into the bag. So, total balls are 13. So, I can choose any one ball out of that, okay? But I want a green one. Second one also has to be a green one. So, I want a green ball. So, how many options are there? 8 are there. Same case for third one. Again, 8 are there. So, I get 8 cube upon 13 cube, okay? So, these two options get cancelled out. So, I have D and A as the possible answers. Now, the second case is that the ball drawn are not replaced. Okay. I draw the first ball. It has to be green. And then I draw the second ball. It has to be green. And then I draw the third ball. It has to be green. Now, first ball I have to draw. Total how many balls are there? 13. So, total possibilities are 13. Any one, I can draw any one type of ball out of the 13 balls. Okay. I can choose any one ball. But I want a green ball. So, how many options are there for a green ball? 8 options. Now, I pick that ball, I throw it away. Okay. I throw this first ball away, green ball. And now, I am not replacing the ball. That means I am throwing out the ball. If I am throwing out the ball, how many balls remain? Only 12 remain. Okay. Second ball, I try to pick. Only 12 options are there. Out of that, I can choose any one ball. But I want a green ball only. Now, out of 8 green balls, 1 green ball was already selected. If it was already selected and thrown outside, only 7 options for green ball remain. Okay. And this second ball also I throw out because I am not replacing the balls. Then how many balls remain? 11. So I can choose any one ball out of the 11. Okay. But I want a green ball only. Third ball should also be a green ball. Now, earlier there were 8 green balls. I chose one and threw it away. So now there are 7 green balls. Then I chose one and threw it away. So now there are only 6 green balls. So out of 6, I have to choose that. So the total probability for the second case comes out to be 8 by 13 into 7 by 12 into 6 by 11. So if you try to cancel it out, what you are going to get is 7 4s are 28 divided by. Now no need to multiply this. Okay. Even if you multiply, it's okay. But no need to multiply directly. You can mark the answer as D because the difference in numerator can help you get the answer directly. 7 4s are 28. Directly mark option D as the answer. This one. 2 trains running at the rates of 75 km and 60 km per hour respectively on parallel rails in opposite directions are observed to pass each other in 8 seconds. When they are running in the same direction at the same rates as before, the person sitting in the faster train observes that he passes the other in 63 by 2 seconds. Find the length of the faster train. Now over here what happens is that the length of the faster train, let it be LF. And the length of the slower train, let it be LS. Okay. Now the 2 trains which are there, if they are running in opposite directions, okay. So the relative speed for them is going to be what? Addition of the speeds. Okay. So what we get is 70 plus 60 is 130, 135 kilometers per hour. But everything, if you check out, it is in seconds. And we want the length of the train in meters. So I'll convert this into kilometers, in meters per second by multiplying by 5 by 18. So what I'm going to get over here is 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15 and 3 6s are. So again 3 ones are 3, 15, 3 fives are 3 twos are. So 15 fives are 75 upon 2 meters per second comes out to be the relative speed. Okay. So now what we know is distance is equal to speed into time, and since we are considering relative speed because both the trains are running, that is moving, we'll have distance equal to relative speed into time. So the distance traveled will be equal to, what is the relative speed? 75 upon 2, and what is the time taken? 8 seconds, okay, to cross each other, right? So this is the first part of the question. So what we get is 75 into 4, 75 to the 150 into 4 is 300. The distance traveled when two trains cross each other is nothing but the addition of the lengths of the train. So length of the faster train plus length of the slower train is 300. This is the first equation that we have got. Okay, that is nothing but the distance traveled. Now, okay, what is given is when they are running in the same direction, okay, at the same rates, a person sitting in the faster train observes that he passes the other in 63 by 2 seconds. He passes the other in 63 by 2 seconds. Find the length of the faster train. What is given is that a person sitting in faster train, they are not saying that the two trains are crossing each other. So like this is one train, this is the faster train, and this is sort of the slower train. Okay, this is the faster train. The faster train, a person is sitting over here. This is slower train going in this direction. Okay, sorry, both of them are going in the same direction. Fine. So this slower train which is there, it passes only this person. So if the train is like this, okay, so this train it crosses only the person. So it is not concerned with whether it passes the entire fast train or not. Okay, it is only concerned with the person, that is the person is crossing the slower train. Okay, that means that the distance traveled in this case is only the length of the slower train. Okay, it is not the length of both the trains because we are not crossing both the trains. This is normal person and a train is crossing the person. This is that kind of numerical. Okay, where a person is there, he is moving, he or she, and that moving person crosses a moving train. It is that numerical. Okay, so over here the speed of the person will be same as the speed of the faster train. Okay, so relative speed in same direction. Okay, relative speed in same direction will be higher, faster train speed minus slower train speed, that is 15 kilometers per hour. That comes out to be what? 15 into 5 by 18, converting it into meters per second, that is 75 upon 18 meters per second. Okay, this is the relative speed. Now distance traveled in the second case, this was the first case, distance traveled. Distance traveled in second case will be what? Relative speed into time in the second case. Okay, relative speed in the second case. Now relative speed in this case is 75 upon 18. Time in the second case is 63 by 2 seconds. 9 twos are, 9 sevens are. So 75 into 7 divided by 4. So 75 into 7 comes out to be 525 divided by 4. This comes out to be meters. And this is 300 meters. So what we know over here is that in the second case, this man is crossing the slower train. So distance traveled will be length of the slower train. So length of the slower train is what? 525 divided by 4 meters. Already we know this equation. What we are going to do? 300 would be equal to what? Length of the faster train plus length of slower train is 525 divided by 4. So length of the faster train will be 300 minus 525 divided by 4. So that comes out to be 1200 minus 525 divided by 4. That comes out to be 675 divided by 4 meters. Okay. Answer is option A. Solve log of 14 to the base 196 minus log of 17 to the base 289. If you observe, 196 is 14 square, 289 is 17 square. Okay. So what do we do over here is I'll convert this to base 14 and I'll convert this to base 17. That is going to make the answer very easy. Log of 14 to the base 14 divided by log of 196 to the base 14 minus log of 17 to the base 17 divided by log of 289, that is previous base, to the base 17. Log of 14 to the base 14 is 1. Log of 196, that is nothing but 14 square to the base 14. So this 2 is going to come over here. Minus, same case over here. It is going to be 1 upon log of 17 square to the base 17. So this 2 is going to come over here. So what I am going to have? 2 log of 14 to the base 14, that means only 2. 1 upon 2 log of 17 to the base 17, that is nothing but 1. So 1 upon 2 only. 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, that comes out to be 0. Answer is option A. If any number is divisible by 91, then it is also divisible by. Now we don't know the divisibility test for 91. So we can create one. Okay, we can create a divisibility test for 91. Very easy. How to do it? 91 should be divided into 2 or more factors. Okay, 91 should be divided into 2 or more factors which have nothing in common in them. Okay, apart from 1. Like for example, 12 can be divided as 3 into 4. Okay, these are 2 factors. 3 4s are 12. And 3 and 4 have nothing in common except 1. Same way, 91 can be divided into say 13 into 7. 13 and 7 both are prime numbers. They have nothing in common between them except 1. 7 3s are 21, 7 1s are 7, 8, 9, 91. Yes, 13 7s are 91. If there is a number, okay, and if that number has to be divisible by say 91, then it definitely has to be divisible by 13 and 7. Or the round way, if a number is divisible by 13 and 7 both, okay, then it is also divisible by 91. So if a number is divisible by 91, it has to be divisible by 13 and 7. So over here 13 is not there, 7 is there. So 7 is the answer. Now 91 cannot be divided using any of these factors. Like 91 is not a multiple of 11, so 11 cannot be a factor of 91. 91 is not a multiple of 15, so 15 cannot be a factor of 91. Same way 17 cannot be a factor of 91. Only factor is 7. Find the HCF of 2 raised to 6 into 3 square into 5 square into 7. This is one number. 2 cube into 3 raised to 5 into 7 into 5 cube. This is the second number. And 2 into 3 raised to 4 into 5. It's very easy. First of all, these are the base and these are the powers. Okay. So find the common basis. 2 is there common in all the three numbers. 3 is there and 5 is there. Okay. Multiplication sign would be there. Next. For every base which is the smallest power, here it is 6, here it is 3 and here it is 1. So it has to be 1. Okay, so only one option with 2 raised to 1. Answer is option C. Same way for 3 we can show, here it is 2, here it is 5, here it is 4. So we have to take 2, and for 5 it is square, cube and 1. So 5 raised to 1. So this is HCF, okay, highest common factor. If n numbers are in geometric progression, the logarithm of the numbers will vary in which of the following manners. Now this is a standard question. Answer is actually arithmetic progression. We can try to check out, just check out. Say, let's write a geometric progression. 2. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 4 2s are 8. Okay, here the common factor is 2. Okay, 8 2s are 16. 16 2s are 32 and so on. Now I'm going to take the log of each value. Log of 2 and to the base 2 I'm going to take. Okay, to make it easy. Log 2 to the base 2 is 1. Okay. Then log of 4 to the base 2 is going to be 2 square, that is 2. Then this is log of 8 to the base 2. This is 2 cube. So cube, that is 3. Then log of 16 to the base 2, that is 2 raised to 4. So it is going to be 4. Here this is going to come out to be 5 and so on. So this is sort of an arithmetic progression where the common difference between two numbers is d equal to 1. Okay, 1. Here also 1. Here also 1. So if n numbers are in geometric progression, the logarithm of the numbers will vary in arithmetic progression. Answer is option D. Few girls can finish a piece of work in 500 days. In how many days will 1/3 of those girls be able to finish 2/3 of the work? Now this is a very easy question. Now few girls can finish a piece of work in 500 days. So let us say this is a group of girls. Okay. Now they take how many days? 500 days to finish the job. Okay. Now 1/3, if I want to finish only 2/3, this is for the entire job. They take 500 days for the entire job or the entire work. If they want to finish only 2/3 of the work, okay, not the entire job. Say, if they take 500 days for the entire job, if they want to do half the job, they are going to take half the days. That is 500 divided by 2, or this can be written as half 500 into 1 by 2, because half the job they want to do. If they want to do 1/4 of the job, time taken will be only 1/4. That is 500 by 1/4. If they want to do 2/3 job, then the group is going to take how much time? The group is going to take 500 into 2/3 time. Okay, that is around about 66% time. So what do we get over here is 1000 upon 3 days. This is the amount of time taken by the entire group I am talking about over here, by the entire group of girls to complete just 2/3 of the work. Okay, so this is the time. But now we don't want the entire group. What we want is only 1/3 of those girls. Now very easy concept it is there. Say there is one man. This one man can do the job in 5 days. Okay, or not 5 days, 6 days. This one man can do the job in 6 days. if 2 men, that is doubling the amount, okay, doubling the number of men. If 2 men are there, amount of time required will be how much? Just 3 days, okay, because half of it, because one man will do half the job, other man will do half the job, okay. So days become half, okay, days are halved. 6 is divided by 2, fine. Now, if 3 men are there, that means you are tripling the amount of men, okay. Then the timing required will also be 6 divided by 3, that is only 2 days. Okay, let's go other way around. There are 10 men and they are going to take 6 days to do the job. If I half the number of men, that is I divide by 2, okay, now only 5 men are there, but obvious time required would be more, time required would double out. So 6 2s are 12 days would be required to do the job, okay. Same way, if I divide the number of men by 3, like now there are 10 by 3 men, then time required will also be tripled. 6 into 3 is going to be 18 days. Fine, because time required and work done is inversely proportional. Like, number of men required and work done is inversely proportional when it comes to time. Okay. For example, if the work done is same, work is same. If more men are there, okay, less time is required, okay, and if less men are there, more time is required. This is like inverse proportionality. Same way, entire group can finish 2/3 of the work in 1000 by 3 days. So if 1/3 group is there, okay, I'll write over here. If only 1/3 group is there, I have reduced the entire group by 1/3. That is, I have just taken 1/3 amount of the group, okay, I have divided the entire group by 3. Then the time required will be time multiplied by 3 times. So that comes out to be 1000 divided by 3 into 3. Okay, that comes out to be 1000 days. So answer over here is 1000 days. Option D.